Hi, I'm Corinne from Spiraea Herbs, and welcome to 5-Minute Herbalism. Hi, my name's Corinne, and here at Spiraea, I share videos that weave together plant wisdom, holistic health, self-sufficiency with just a dash of magic. If this sounds interesting to you, I'd love for you to stick around. I'm really excited about this brand new series I'm launching here on YouTube called 5-Minute Herbalism. Now, my goal with this series was to answer the number one objection I hear for people not ready to get started on their journey of learning about herbs, and it's, Corinne, I don't have time. Now, I know we all have busy lives. For a lot of us, that looks like a full-time job outside of the house. That looks like commuting. That looks like kids and family and obligations around the home. And then those kids probably have extracurricular activities that you're taking them to, like hockey practice or piano lessons or horseback riding or whatever that may look like for your family. And by the time you've cooked meals, cleaned the house, finished work, got everybody home, most of us just want to flop on the couch, right? And so I really wanted to create a series of videos that would help introduce herbal medicine to people who are passionate about learning, but just don't know where to start and feel really overwhelmed because they have this idea that it needs to take a lot of time. And it doesn't. Now, if you want to become a specialist in herbal medicine and are studying to become a clinical practitioner, yes, that's going to take time to devote, but to weave it into your everyday life, bring a little bit more self-sufficiency, feel a little bit more empowered when it comes to your health and your family's health, this is a really great way to start. Now, if this has already piqued your interest, I have a free ebook, Herbalism Basics. You can grab it in the description below. There will be a link there, and it's going to help you figure out things like how to store your herbs properly. How do you know if you're buying good quality? Why we should be sourcing things like organic, and why it's okay that herbalism happens in our kitchens. So without further ado, let's dive into 5-Minute Herbalism. All right, in today's video, we are starting, this is the first one, I'm so excited, the first 5-Minute Herbalism, and we're starting with something that you just have to go to the grocery store. If you're really lucky, maybe you actually have access to this stuff on your property. It's winter here in Ontario, and we just got buckets of snow this weekend, so I don't have any fresh herbs for this, but guess what? That's okay, because we are going to make a simple thyme tea, and all you're going to need is thyme. And yes, you can use thyme from the grocery store. I do recommend trying to source organic if you can. If you don't know why you should be sourcing organic, grab my new free ebook, Herbalism Basics, because I talk about why you should be looking for that, even when it comes to herbs. So you're going to need thyme. You're going to need lemon juice, either from fresh lemons if you have access to them, or bottled. That works too. And if you want, a little bit of honey. And that's it. That's all you're going to need to make this simple tea recipe. That's why I'm calling it 5-Minute Herbalism. One of the reasons I really love working with thyme, especially in the winter, is because it's antiviral. It's a decongestant. It helps with things like fevers. It is also an expectorant, so it's going to help with coughs. And it's really good for the digestion as well. Sometimes we're not moving as much as we normally would, especially in the winter months if it gets cold, and digestion can become a bit sluggish, especially if you're eating heavier foods. It's still just after the holidays. Some of us might have some Christmas baking kicking around, or that box of chocolates you got from someone at work. And so anything that can help support all of those is, A-okay in my books. And I'm going to be using, dried thyme today. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Now, I will say the only real equipment that you need for this is a mug. It does help to have some way to strain out the herbs. Most of us don't want to drink tea with a bunch of herbs floating around. So you can use a tea ball. If you have one of these cool little gadgets, they're pretty awesome. I also have tea strainers that look like this. It's actually neat. It sits right on top of the cup. And so you would put your tea in there. And so all you're going to need to do is measure out 1 teaspoon of dried thyme for every 250 milliliters. So this is a pretty big mug, so I'm probably gonna go closer to 2 teaspoons of thyme. You're gonna bring your water to a boil, pour it over top, and then you're gonna let it steep for at least 5 to 10 minutes. So it's been about 10 minutes. I like to let my herbal tea steep for at least 10 minutes or so. You probably noticed I put a cloth over top of the tea, and that was just to prevent a lot of the heat and steam from escaping. You can also use a plate, or if you happen to have a good old-fashioned teapot, you can use that as well. And then you would just strain your herbs out as you're pouring it into your mug. Now, in terms of honey and lemon juice, that is completely up to you and very much to taste. So lemon juice really enhances the flavor of thyme. I quite enjoy it. Honey adds a lot of antimicrobial benefits as well as helping to soothe the throat. So if what you're dealing with is a sore throat, I would definitely encourage you to add raw local honey to your tea. Why do you want to use raw and local? Grab my free ebook. I talk about that in there as well. The lemon juice, like I said, has some vitamin C to it, but it's also got some properties to help loosen mucus and help expel mucus from the lungs. So it really depends on why you're drinking your thyme tea and what you want it to taste like. Personally, I'm going to add lemon juice and honey to mine. And once it has cooled down, feel free to sip away and enjoy. Now, thankfully, thyme is one of those herbs that is really safe and doesn't have a lot of contraindications, especially in tea form. We're a little bit more careful when it comes to tinctures and taking it over long periods of time. But in the case of this recipe and tea, you really can enjoy it as frequently as you would like. Personally, I like to mix up my teas, and so I'll be coming back with more 5-minute herbal tea recipes for you to enjoy. Now, if you've got any questions or comments, I always encourage you to leave those below. If you like my content and you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that way the algorithm knows you want to see more of me. And when you hit that like button, it also means that my videos show up on other people's news feeds as well. If you haven't grabbed that free ebook, make sure you do, and I'll see you next time in another installment of 5-Minute Herbalism.